I want to talk to you about my new Greyhound dog that I got about a month and a half ago. I'm really enjoying him. His name is Chrome. He's an ex-race Greyhound dog from the Florida area. He did competition, ran around the track in the Daytona area. He did competition there. What happens most often is when they're not competing up to standards, they tend to get rid of them or kill them. So I adopted him. He's very sweet. From a shelter. He's 4.5 years old right now, and he's doing wonderful. There are different myths about Greyhound, and the first one is that people tend to say that Greyhounds are very active and hyper, and they like to move around, and that they can't sit still. But when in reality, they're very laid back and very lazy. They tend to sleep about 18 hours every day. If you live in an apartment, that's fine. You can have a Greyhound. What you can do is you can go to the dog park and you can let them run around from 30 to 45 seconds. When they were competing, they would only run about 45 seconds a week. So take them and let them run around, and then they'll get tired. And after that, you can go home, and then your Greyhound can rest. Myth number 2 is that Greyhounds, that they don't get along with other animals, and that they like to be left alone, and that they like to be independent. But in reality, they're really sociable animals. When they were at the racetrack, they had different trainers and different people coming up to meet them and present them with awards, and they either got along with other animals that they were around. Sometimes they might get a little nervous and a little jumpy because they may not be used to you. But there are even some that, get along with cats. I saw this video of this Greyhound. He was just licking a cat and being very sociable with the cat. All Greyhounds may not be the same, but most are fine with a little training. Myth number 3 is that Greyhounds receive abuse. But that's not true. We feed them when they're hungry to make sure that they're developed to be strong. And everything is okay. Training is more like a way of life for Greyhounds. Teaching them how to walk upstairs backwards and teaching them to do different things. They have a competitive life. And it's not abuse. Myth number 4 is that people come to me and they tell me that, greyhounds are too skinny. I mean, that's their natural way to be. If they fat, if they tend to be fat or bulky, they might die from being sick. But it's natural for them to be skinny because they race. They're competitive animals. And I just wanted to let everybody know that they're made to be skinny. And you can dress them with different clothes. If it's raining, you can put a raincoat on them, or if it's cold outside, you can put a coat on them. So it's fine to dress them to fit the weather. Myth number 5. People think that greyhounds are mean. Why? Because they have the muzzles on during the competition. They're not mean. The muzzles are to protect them when they're at the dog track. So they have to put the muzzle on. It's not because they have a mean personality. It's just for purposes of the racetrack. And I know some might be scared that the greyhound is going to bite them. But, the greyhound will chase you, but when you stop, they'll stop. But the muzzle is for protection during the racetrack when they're racing, so that they won't get hurt when they're competing. I'm going to tell you about how I obtained my greyhound. I was looking into different rescue organizations. And some had home visits, some didn't. Some just gave you the dog and let you went ahead. And then, they just gave you the dog. But if you have problems, how would you go back to discuss with them? But one place that I went to was Greyhound Welfare. And there were different animals that was brought in. It was an emergency rescue home for animals. And they also have meetings that people can come in and we can discuss about the different issues about our greyhound. So after I adopted it, they had the meetings, and everybody can get together and kind of chat about how things are going with their adoption with their greyhounds. And you bring the greyhounds with you, and they also got to socialize with other greyhounds. But then they counsel the group, so. But it is a good idea to have group to support each other, to learn, to see what problems you're faced with, and you can kind of help each other out with that, to see what type of food or what type of things work for your greyhound. But I think that the support group was a good idea. And you don't have to make an appointment. You can just go to the support group and just show up. And I thought that was real fun. There was something real fun about the organization. But you can go to www.greyhoundwelfare.org, and they have more information on there.